Hello, Trailblazers, and welcome to Blazer Brew, the place where Salesforce conversation are the strong as the coffee and the ideas flow even faster. I'm your host Ankita Dhamgia, and today we are brewing up something exciting for everyone passionate about automation, innovation, and building smart experience on Salesforce. So, grab your favorite coffee, settle in. So, let's dive into the conversation that's going to be insightful and, of course, a lot of fun. But before we jump into today's topic, let's take a quick step back to our previous episode with one and only Abhishek Verma, where we explored the rise of financial service cloud in banking and how the technology is actually, reshaping the future. It was truly insightful and really engaging session that the audience is actually correlated with it because the topic is related to their day-to-day activity because we all are one another way related to the banking. Now, for today's episode, we are talking about something every trailblazers care about, and which is Salesforce Flow, of course, because realistically, I have personally seen the flow has evolved far way beyond just another Salesforce feature. So I have seen a flow, and honestly, when I started learning Salesforce, flow was one of my training topic where my senior says that no, that will be not useful. You can go and learn workflows. So the big question is, what's new in summer 26? And to help us break this down, I am super excited to welcome someone who's truly understand the flow inside out and has been helping our community stay ahead. Yumi, welcome to Blazer Brew, Yumi. How are you?
Hi, hi, Ankita. Thanks for having me. I'm really happy to join you today.
Thank you so much for being my guest here and addressing our audience. But Yumi, I always ask my guest before we jump into the feature and the technical side. I would like to know, genuinely curious to know about the journey behind the person. How did your Salesforce journey has begun? And what was just the turning point that pulled you deeper into the ecosystem over the year?
Yeah, so let me introduce myself. I'm Yumi. I'm a Salesforce MVP, and I'm working as a Salesforce solution architect at a Salesforce consulting partner called All Cloud. I've been working with Salesforce for 12 years, and I have 39 certifications. And besides this, I have a website slash blog called salesforcetime.com, which is completely about flows. And it has been selected one of the most popular Salesforce blogs of the year for 3 consecutive years. And most of my contributions to the community are related to flows. So, regarding my journey, like many other people, I started as an accidental admin, and over time, I became a Salesforce solution architect.
Wow. You know, everyone's saying that. Even I was like accidentally, started my career in Salesforce, but it's turning so well for everyone. When you are in the Salesforce, you eventually find a different way around, and Salesforce ecosystem help you to grow, isn't it? Right. I wanted to start differently, Yumi, because I know you have done a lots of flows, lot of certification. Oh my God, how you're doing it. So, if someone told you flow is completely different today than it was 2 years back, would you agree or disagree? And why?
Yes, I would agree. Flow was just about modifying data, but today you can build complex automations and even integrations with external systems. And also, Flow plays a key role in agent force agents. So it became much more than just an automation tool, and I think it's one of the most important tools of Salesforce right now.
Yeah, and we can call this a backbone of automation these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Out of everything new in the summer 26 release, what was the one update that made you take a pause and think, okay, this is something people really, really need to pay attention to?
Uh, I will show it later actually, but setting the maximum batch size in schedule triggered,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very important update.
Okay, yes, we have to save something for a demo.
Yeah.
All right. We talked about the evolution and the mindset shifts and the updates that are changing the game. But now comes the exciting part. I really wanna looking forward to see what new features are coming, because every day-to-day life it's very hard for us to go to to the release update, but eventually as a Salesforce enthusiast we have to. So the
Mhm.
stage is all yours. Please take us through the summer 26 flow update.
Yeah, sure. So today I will show you the top flow features coming in the Summer 26 release. I will share my screen in a minute, but I want to mention that the timing of this webinar is great because this weekend we will get a new release to our sandbox environments. So it
Oh,
means that unless you have a pre-release environment, it probably means you haven't seen these features live. So today I will show you, and I won't use a slideshow because otherwise it will be just like reading the release notes. I want to log into my Salesforce environment and show you all the new features. I will share my screen now.
thank you so much. You made a small demo for us.
Yeah, I will show you the new features. Can you see my screen? Can you confirm that?
Yes, I can see
Okay,
your screen.
so let's start with a small update. In the previous release, Salesforce added an option to collapse and expand loop and decision elements. So, for example, here we have a decision, I can collapse it, and here we have a loop, I can collapse and expand. So when you have a big flow, a big and complex flow, and you are looking for something, you can easily collapse loops and decisions, which take a lot of space on the canvas. So you can make the canvas cleaner so that you can find what you are looking for. But this one came in the previous release. In this release, you can collapse and expand also the fault paths like this. So I want to show you one more thing related to this update. It's not part of this Summer 26 release, but also it wasn't a part of Spring 26 release. Salesforce silently deployed this after the Spring 26. So here we have a button. So you probably have this in production already. Using this button, you can collapse all the decisions and loops, and now all the fault paths, just like this. So this was a small update coming in the new release. Let's see another one. So as you know, in ScreenFlow, we can control the styling of screen components. We can control the styling of the entire screen like this. I can set a background color, borders, and I can control the styling of the individual screen components. This came in the previous release again, but some screen components didn't support this. So in the Summer 26 release, more screen components, more standard screen components support styling. To name a few, I have a list here. So address, action button, dependent pick list, email lookup, name, choice lookup, slider toggle, and URL. They all support styling. But let me show you what it means. So I have let's add a lookup field, for example. So let's assume we have a field, and let's call it count ID, count, and it's coming from case. So now I have the preview of it. So from the styling, I can set a background color for it, and I can set a border color, like border radius. So I think it's great that we can control the styling of our screens. That's really great. But I think it's giving us more responsibilities because UI UX may not be one of our skills, and we need to be careful. Otherwise, we can build some ugly screens, and it's easier than you think. Just like this. So you need to be careful about this feature. Okay. Okay, I will show you another one. When you send an email from Flow, let's use the send email action, there is an option to pick an email template. So you don't need to hard code the email template either, which is a very bad practice, by the way. Never do that. So you don't need to hard code. You don't even need to use get records and find the email template ID dynamically. You can simply pick it from here. But again, we already had this. It came in the previous release, but there was an issue. When you choose a template like this, behind the scenes, it was storing the ID of the email template. So, which is more or less the same thing as directly hard coding the email template ID, which is a bad practice. So, when you deploy this flow to production, it would fail because email template ID may be different in production. So it will fail, and you will need to go to your flow and change it directly in production, which was not useful at all. So many people, including me, couldn't use this feature. So in the Summer'26 release, they fixed this issue, and now it's not storing the ID anymore. So you don't need to worry about this. You can build your flows without any gets and just pick your email template from here, yeah, and then deploy. Just one thing to pay attention: under the show advanced options, make sure that your action version is above or equal to 3.0.1. Right now, this is the highest one. But if you have an old flow that is using the send email action, but the version is, let's say, 2.0.1, it won't work. Yeah, so you need to change it to 3.0.1. So let's see another feature. For this one, actually, I want to log into another environment that doesn't have this new release. This one, for example. So this is about displaying images using the display text component. I will add a display text component here. So here we have an option to display an image. You can add images from static resources. So let's click this one. But when you do that, it's asking for you to provide the name of your static resource. But I don't know the names of the static resources that I have by heart. Yeah, I need to go to Salesforce Setup, see the static resources. For example, I can click here. There's a shortcut, but in any case, I need to leave the flow. Go here, find it. Okay, it's called logo. Okay, I need to type it here. So it's way too many clicks, and I need to leave the flow to do that. So in this new release, they added an option to upload the static resources directly from your flow. So for example, let's go here. I have a screen. I will add a display text, add image from static resources. Now I can choose a static resource that exists in this environment. I can search for it if I have too many. So I don't need to leave this flow builder anymore. And even more, let's say that I need to use a new static resource. I don't have it in my setup. I can upload it directly from here. From here, I can upload and give it a name. Let's go to this. I don't know. Let's choose something. This one. Can give it a name. And actually, that's it. Now I have it. Just like this. I don't need to leave the flow builder. I can use it directly from here. Okay, now I will show you the next feature that is coming in Summer'26 release. And this is one of my favorite ones. This is the thing that I mentioned before. So as you may know, schedule triggered flows run in batches of 200 records. So it means that when a schedule triggered flow runs, it runs 200 by 200. But when you have multiple get records elements or multiple DML operations in your flow, you may hit the governor limits. And there was no option to fix that. You had to do some workarounds, like marking a checkbox and then triggering another record triggered flow that will run in a schedule pad with batch size of 1. But now you don't need to do any workarounds because now we have an option to set the maximum batch size. So if your flow, if your schedule triggered flow is failing because of governor limits, you can simply reduce the batch size, let's say 10, and then you can solve the issue. I think it's a great feature. If you are having this issue, now it will be solved. So let's see another one. I will use this flow again. So this one, actually, I wasn't expecting this one to come. Salesforce has added 20 new date operators to decision elements. Yes, 20. So let's create a date variable here. So I will call it date simply. And I will make it available for input. Okay, so here I want to add a decision and show you what I mean. Here is my variable. As you can see, we have many new operators. So we already had until here. So these are new. Has no value, has value, is anniversary of today, is not anniversary of today, is tomorrow, is yesterday. There are lots of new stuff. But some of these were already possible. For example, is today. You could just use equals and then flow current date. It checks if this date equals the current date. But now we have is today. And when you choose that, you don't have any value here. You just put your resource and operator. But there are some new operators that weren't directly possible in decision elements. For example, let's say is anniversary of today. This is very useful when you are checking a birthday, for example. But still, you were able to do that using formulas. You could create a formula that checks the day and month of your resource and compare with the day and month of today. But now you don't need to create formulas. You can just simply do it directly inside the flow. So let's check this. Let's try it. Is it anniversary? Yes. Okay, let's debug this. So today is 7th of May. I will pick 7th of May, but another year. When I run, let's see, it says it went to yes path. So 7th of May is anniversary of today. That's true. So I can simply check this. So I think this is a great feature. It will save a lot of time, that's for sure. Okay, now I will show you another one. And it's very important. And I think we have all been waiting for this one for a very long time. It's about displaying lookup fields in data table. Let me show you an example from an environment that doesn't have this new release. This one. Yeah. So when you display lookup fields in a data table, it displays the ID of the record. It doesn't display the name. So let's try this. I will debug, and I'm trying to display a data table of case records. And one of the columns is account ID, but it shows the ID of the account. No one will understand nothing about this, right? I want to display the name of the account. So until now, we had to do some workarounds, such as creating formula fields or using custom data tables. But not every company wants to use custom or unofficial data tables. And creating formula fields just for this didn't sound right. So let me show you how we were able to solve this until today. So instead of account ID standard field, you had to create a formula field. For example, this account name text. You can give the name like this, account name. Now let's try it. As you can see, it's displaying the account name. It displays as a text, right? It's not clickable. But if you want it to be clickable, you can do it again. using a formula. But let's say that in this flow, I don't want it to be clickable, but in another flow, I want it to be clickable. So it means I need to create two different formulas. For example, this one is what I use. It's just a text. But this one is using hyperlink function in the formula to display a link to the record. So it means I had to create two different formula fields just for this. But it's not just about the account ID. Let's say you have 10 different lookup fields. Will you create 20 formulas? It didn't really feel right. But in the new release, now you can configure that, and data table can directly show you the name of the record. So let's try it. This one has the new release. So for the account ID column, you can see that it's the standard one. Now we have two options: show record name and link to record. This is important because sometimes you may not want to display a link to record. Let's say that I'm displaying a data table of cases. I want the account to show a link, that's fine, but I don't want the owner to show a link because I don't want the users to click on the owner field and go to the user page. What will they see there? Nothing. So here I made it show record name, but not a link to the record. So let's run this flow. As you can see, I can see the account names clickable. If I click, it will open the account, but the owner is not clickable, just like I configured. If I click, as you can see, it opens the record. Some people are asking if this feature is reactive. I want to prove you that it is reactive. I have a reactive screen flow here. It has a screen action to get related opportunities of the account that I choose here. So let's see here. I want to display also the account ID, let's say. Let's save this. So I will choose this one, for example. As you can see, it shows the account ID. If I change it to another account, it shows, again, clickable account IDs. As you can see, it's reactive. So now I will show you another feature that is coming in this new release. We have a new screen component. It's called radio button group. So let's go here to our screen flow, and I will add it here. It's a new selection component, just like a pick list or radio button or choice lookup. As you can see, the configuration is the same, but the difference is that it displays the choices like buttons. Let's create a radio button group. What do you want to create? And let's say the choices are case, task, and opportunity. So the difference between this one and the other selection components is that this one displays them like buttons. And also this is the only selection component that displays the choices horizontally. That's the difference. But I want to mention two things here. Let's debug this first. And in the meantime, I will mention it. So the choices look like buttons. They really look like buttons. So the users might feel like something will happen when they click on them. But actually, no. This is just the UI. Nothing will happen. It's just a selection. So this might be a bit misleading for the users. And secondly, if you have too many choices, don't use this component, really. Because I will show you an example. You may be thinking that, okay, like if I have many choices, it will display in few lines. But no, that's not the case. It tries to display everything in one row. So I will show you an example. Let's say that I want to display opportunities. And I will create a record choice set of opportunities. For now, like nothing. Here I will display 20 opportunities, not hundreds of opportunities, just 20. And for the choice label, I will display the name, and for the value, it will be the ID. Let's see what happens. As you can see, it looks ugly. Don't use this if you have too many choices, because it tries to put all the choices in one row and it won't be user friendly. Okay, so let me show you another new feature that is coming, and let's build a new flow for this. So this feature is about the inputs in invocable actions. So when you have an action that supports complex inputs, for example, the send email, send notification, or any other invocable action, we have two new modes, transform and formula. So for example, when the opportunity becomes closed one, let's assume that we have an action. It doesn't matter what it's doing, but let's say that we have an action like this. It has four different inputs. Name, I will just pass the opportunity name, no problem. ID, okay, I will pass the opportunity ID, again, no problem. But for the due date, I want to pass the 1 day after the close date of the opportunity. And for the count, I want to pass the number of opportunity line items under this opportunity. So today, what I can do is I can create a formula, and it will say close date plus 1, right? Close date plus 1. And regarding the opportunity line items, first I need to get them. Let's get them. In any case, I will need to get these. Get line items. Opportunity line items that are related to this opportunity. And I will get all of them. So how can I pass the number of opportunity line items? I have two ways, or I can use an assignment and use the equals count to store the number of line items, or I can use the transform element and count how many line items we have. So, but in any case, I need to create variables, and also I need to use elements just to be able to put values in this action. That's it. Like, I will create useless resources, let's say, just for this one. So starting with this Summer 26 release, I don't need to do any of these. For example, for due date, I can use a formula, and I can write the formula directly here. I don't need to create a formula outside this action. So let's create one. So as we said, close date plus 1. So, yeah, it's crashing all the time, but okay, we have it. And for the count, I can do transform directly from here. I don't need to use the transform element outside this action. So let's transform it. I have this get, and I want to count them. Count, that's it. Now I have these two. So using this feature, now we can have less resources and less elements in our flow, and they can be cleaner. I have one last thing to show you. Let's think that this is a bonus feature. I wasn't planning to show this actually, but because I saw that in the release notes, it says it's available only if you have MuleSoft for Flow enabled. But because we don't have this release in our sandboxes yet, I cannot be sure. Maybe it will come to our sandboxes. But in any case, it's good to know because it's a really cool feature. It's about the mapping in Flow. So let's assume that we have an external system that is sending us some parameters, for example, record ID and status. And it's trying to update the status of a record in Salesforce. But the status values that we get from this external system may not match the status values in Salesforce. So you need to have some kind of a mapping inside your flow. Let's open this one. So let's say that we are receiving an external status. It's an input for this flow. And we have a formula. So if we receive open, this is the status in external system, it will save it as new. If it's in progress, in Salesforce, it's working. So you can have a mapping like this, which is easy, right? But let's say that it's not status, it's a type, and you have 200 values. Will you build a formula like this? Technically, you can do that. But let's assume that you need to do this logic in multiple flows. Will you create the same formula in all the flows? You can do it. But now let's make it even more complex. Let's say that they are adding a new value to that external system, or they are changing some values. So you need to go to all of your flows that have this logic and change the mapping in all of your flows. Or actually, you can also create an object that stores the mapping, and then you can use a get records and find that mapping. But in that case, you need to create an object and you need to use a get. So in this release, Salesforce added an option to create reusable mappings outside the flow. So for example, in the automation app, we have global flow resources. From here, you can create the mappings. So you need to give it a name and then start mapping. So if they send us 1, it means new. If they send us 2, map it to, I don't know, in progress. You can create mappings like this, and you can also set what will happen if there is no value or if it's not found in the mapping. So it can be unmapped, you can fail the flow, or you can define a default value like this. And then how can we use this in flow? Will we use a get? No. So let's go back to this. So I will change this. Instead of updating like this, you can use it in transform element. So I will add a transform. Let's call it case. And I will transform into a case. So the case ID is the ID that we received. But the status, I won't use this formula because, as I mentioned, there can be lots of features. So let's use this new feature. So for the status here, you need to go to the status. And when you try to map, you need to click here. You have a new option here, value mapping. So the status will come from the external status that we received, but it will use the mapping called external status to status mapping. And let me show you that one. I already created it. Here it is. And if I edit, you'll see the mapping. So if they send us open, it's new. If they send us in progress, working. Okay, let's go back here. That's it. So let's save and debug this. I won't update the case for now. I just want to show you the debug. Let's find a case record, or actually it doesn't matter because we won't do anything. It's a fake ID. And regarding the status, let's say they sent us this. So I'm expecting the status to be working. Okay, let's see. As you can see, the status is working. It went to the mapping, to this mapping. It found this one and wrote this. So this way you can create reusable mappings, and it will save a lot of time. And I think it's a really great feature, and I hope it will be available for every environment. So actually, these are the new flow features, and that's the end of my demo. I prepared also a blog post about these new features. So I will share the link in the comment section, and you can read it if you want.
Wow. I mean, I was amazed to see that Flow has evolved a lot. Even you don't have to write or create your JSON for integration. You just have to do the configuration and boom, the JSON is created here for the, and it is
Mhm.
reusable, right? The one feature I can definitely correlate with you when you are talking about the formula fill, which I have to create in order to pull the name of my parent parent fill, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
this is, so
Mm.
far we are following, we are creating a formula fills and then we are making it as a hyperlink, right? So
Yeah.
like Salesforce is very thoughtful, and it's also saying that okay, whether you have to make it as a hyperlink or not. So this is like something amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So you said that we can get this demo also.
Yeah, sure. I wrote a blog post about the new flow features of
Mm-hmm.
this release. So I will share the
Okay.
link under the comment section. If you want, you can read the post.
That will be really great for our audience. They can get a really benefit out of it because flow is now very easy these days comparatively when we have started. So, and a lot of new feature that people actually has to explore, and which is making our development time even way faster. Now I don't have to create a formula to find out whether it's my birthday or or not, right?
Yeah.
All right. So it's like very rapid developments. Considering the rapid, now it's time for our rapid fire rounds. Are you ready? So the rule is very simple, Amy. You have to be very quick, very fast, and I'll ask very simple questions.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
All right. Don't judge me, Apex or Flow.
I'm not the correct person to ask this question because I'm a flow person, so I will go with flow.
All right. One update you wish Summer 26 had. I mean, it's come with a lot of, but anything.
Yeah, actually, whenever there's a new release, the first thing that I check is if we can use a formula in the start criteria of schedule triggered flow, but we still don't have it. So you still need to create a formula and use it as the start criteria.
Definitely, we will take it as an idea exchange.
Yeah,
One underrated feature in Flow.
I will say the transform element because I think you should use the transform element whenever it's possible. It's much more faster than loop, and actually it's easy to use. And as you can see, they're improving all the time. So I
Of
think
course.
transform.
Of course. And it is available, right, in all the sandboxes right now. People
Yeah,
can easily use it now.
yeah.
All right. We'll definitely, I to personally go and definitely try this, the power of the transform element. Now, the release notes are like, it's a lot of content. You explained it so beautifully. So just please let me know that did you actually read or
Uh,
those all release note, or you directly jump into that I just want to try all this new feature by my own.
yeah. So talking about the flows, as I mentioned, I create content about flow. So whenever there's a
Uh-huh.
new release, I go to my pre-release environment and I do treasure hunting because I'm trying to write a blog post about the new flow features and I'm trying to be the first one that publishes it. So it means that at that time, there's no release notes yet. So I need to do treasure hunting. So the answer is no, I don't read the release notes to find these
Wow.
because they
And
don't
then
exist.
you, yeah, sorry, you were saying something.
I mean, I'm not reading the release notes at that point because there are no release notes at that point. I do it even
Wow.
before the release notes come out.
Well, that's great. I mean, even it's more excited to see and then compare these two different or that what comes, and then you'll find out, okay, this hidden gem I found, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, since we are Blizzard Brew, coffee while designing the flow or while testing it?
Yeah, I will say both, but I usually drink tea. I mean, I drink coffee as well. Like I drink coffee twice a day, maybe, but I drink more tea. And if you go to Google and search who drinks tea most, you will see that Turkish people drink tea most in the world. And guess what? I'm Turkish. So that's why.
Oh, I thought we Indians like love tea. In all our Indian answers, there's a one stand-up comedy also which is called Half Cup Tea. Because whenever any conversation is started, people here in India are like, why not we start with a half cup of tea? All right, but that's good to know. Good to know. But this is not a rapid fire, but still, I want to know if a flow fails, do you fix it first, or you will grab a coffee and they say, or a chai, and then say that okay, I need to get relaxed, and then I have my tea, and then I'll started thinking about fixing it.
Actually, I check the error. If it's a quick fix, I fix it immediately. Otherwise, I make a coffee and then fix it.
All right, I was just making fun out of it. So, but before we wrap up, I need to know, and everyone knows about it, your journey as a Salesforce MVP, and of course, those 39 certificate professional. That's clearly a lot of depth and consistency behind your growth, right? So, I want to ask you this, what really separates someone who just learns Salesforce from yeah, from someone who continuously grow with and evolve it with this ecosystem over a time?
Yeah, for me, the people who truly grow are the ones who keep building, keep asking questions, and keep helping others along the way. And I think that's the way to grow in this area.
Yeah, interaction, talking, asking questions, sharing your expertise so that you can also gain the knowledge which other person has. This is how we all grow, and consistency is very much required. Was the reason how you maintain all your certifications so far, and anything new in your pipeline, which one you are targeting now?
I'm actually not sure, but I want to do a Slack consultant first, and then I will
Oh,
probably start with MuleSoft.
wow, great, great. And out of curiosity, I mean, when we are working with Flow, can and we are doing integration with Flow, can we involve middleware as well, like MuleSoft and all?
Yeah, of course. But also in Flow, you have this HTTP callout option, so you can make the callouts directly from Flow. You can
Okay,
use REST
okay.
API in Flow, and you can do post, get from Flow.
Wow. Well, we can say that Flow is not just for the admin these days, you know. If you are a developer, also you can use Flow and do all this, replace the coding, writing the code, and do this integration complex, which people assuming even before that integration is complex, you can do easily by just a point and click. That's so amazing, right? All right, that's such a powerful presentation and demo, I would say that. And definitely, we are looking forward for your blog post in your comment section. Please take us time for our audience to post it here in the comment as well. Thank you so much, Yumi, for your valuable time and bringing such clarity, depth, and real world insight. And the conversation is amazing.
Thank you.
It's absolutely pleasure for me to having you here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Before that was that I need to say that um, this is something with for my all audience. This some the flows features are came up new. This is the time that we can go and explore, and if we have any questions, we all know who to reach out to, because if you are in Salesforce ecosystem, you are not just alone. You need to ask the right question in the right channel, and we all are here to help you. So, right? Now, on this note, this is Ankita signing off with our guest Yumi. But before we sign off, do you want to take a few questions from our audience? Just a few, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if there are questions.
Okay. All right. Do you want to choose any?
The, for me, it doesn't matter. You can choose.
Okay, I can see this. How do this update improve performance or scalability for high volume automation? Oh.
Which update are we talking about?
Any of this update, uh, like any update which come up with, high volume. Yeah, you
I,
mentioned that, right? We have a batch size which we can reduce to so that we can avoid.
yes, this I think this will
Mm-hmm.
help with the with the errors. If you are hitting the
Yeah.
governor, that's
Mm-hmm.
solved by that. But reducing the batch size will probably take more time for the flow to
Mm-hmm.
complete. On
Yeah.
the
Now we have a control for our batch size, so right, we can reduce any kind of governor limit. We don't have to break our flows or break our transactions, right, in order to reduce that. I would like to take one more. Um, let's see. Oh my god, people are saying that they definitely go to your blog. uh,
yeah.
All right, I'm not sure. From the real world production perspective, which Summer 26 flow update do you think that will create a bigger long term impact for admins and developer?
Uh, Let me see that comment. Yeah. Eh, let's think about that. I think the data table is very important because we are doing some ugly workarounds. So I think this was something that we were all looking for, and it will have a big impact. Eh, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'll go
I
with
mean,
that.
all of these are definitely creating a very big impact for as a developer, right? Because I don't have to go and make a changes on my schema because people are usually scared about it. Instead, that I can create a formulas which you have just shown. And honestly, like people like me, I to avoid going to multiple screen because I missed a few. So those are all the developer centric, and they may definitely getting a long term impact, but the way the flow is keep evolving, we
Mhm.
never know what shortcut the Salesforce will come up with the new release, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Yumi, for answering is. On this note, I would like to say that we have to sign off for today. Thank you for watching, and do not forget my hashtag that the impact, the story can change the lives. So we need to keep in mind. Keep learning, keep brewing, and we will see you in next episode. Bye bye.
Bye bye.